All right, we're going to go ahead and get started. We'll call our meeting of City Council to order. Hard to believe it's already October. Thanks everybody for being here this evening. We've got a lot to get to on our agenda, so let's go ahead and get started. I'd ask that you join us for our moment of silent reflection, followed by the pledge, please. Thank you very much.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, we have several proclamations this evening. 'Tis that time of the year. With the volume of proclamations we have this evening, I am not going to read the entirety of every single one, but I'll read a portion of every single one, and then we will have our photo opportunities for each group. So first, I'd like to ask the Upshur County CEOs present to join me up front. Is there anyone here from the CEOs? Okay, well that is a proclamation for breast cancer awareness, which is the month of October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. The small piece that I will read of this proclamation is in recognition of the important life-saving early detection practices available for breast cancer. I, Robert Neal Skinner III, Mayor of the City of Buckhannon, do hereby proclaim October 13th, 2025 as West Virginia Breast Cancer Awareness Day and October 2025 in its entirety as Breast Cancer Awareness Month. I urge all Upshur County women to become aware that they are at risk for developing breast cancer and discuss screenings with their health providers. This given under my hand and seal of the City of Buckhannon on October 2nd, 2025. So we will get this proclamation to its appropriate home with the CEOs, and we do have copies of our proclamations here tonight as well. You want me to start over again?
No, not at all.
Next, I'd invite members of the Daughters of the American Revolution. Anyone here? I thought so. All right. This one and this one. Hello, ladies. Hello. So we've got two proclamations for you all. Do you want someone to take a picture for you?
Yes. Thank you.
The first one here is in celebration of American Indian Heritage Month, and that is, whereas the history and culture of our great nation have been significantly influenced by the American Indians and indigenous peoples, and whereas the contributions of American Indians have enhanced the freedoms, prosperity, and greatness of America today. Now, therefore, I, Robert Neal Skinner III, by virtue and authority vested in me as Mayor of the City of Buckhannon, do hereby proclaim November as National American Indian Heritage Month throughout the City of Buckhannon, and urge all of our citizens to observe this month with appropriate programs and ceremonies and activities. This given under my hand of the seal of the City of Buckhannon the second day of October. We'll do that one first.
She's waiting to receive it.
That's right.
She's the most important one.
Okay.
Everybody look over,
Yep.
look towards her.
Yep. We're
Please.
good. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Another one. 1, 2, 3.
All right, look this way.
All right, 1, 2, 3.
Then right here. You think we just all share them? Thank you.
Thank
There's
you.
copies right there in the front for you.
Okay, great.
And then the second one is a proclamation for National Family Literacy Day. Whereas National Family Literacy Day, established by the 103rd Congress of the United States in 1994, is marking its 31st anniversary on November 1st, 2025. It highlights the importance of reading and learning for the entire family and emphasizes the impact that parents have on their child's learning. This day is celebrated across America each year and focuses on special activities and events that showcase the importance of family literacy programs that empower families and build a nation of readers. Now, therefore, I, Robert Neal Skinner III, by virtue and authority vested in me as Mayor of the City of Buckhannon, do proclaim November 1st, 2025 as National Family Literacy Day throughout the City of Buckhannon and underscore the importance of literacy. This given on the second day of October and with my signature and my seal. So we'll do that one next.
You can stand there. She's her literacy person.
Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3. Look at it. Oh, oops, I accidentally put it on video. Okay, 1, 2, 3.
All right, 1, 2, 3. Got it. All right. And got it. Thank you.
Thank you all. Thank you. The others.
Thank you. Thank you.
Mr. Sanders does a good impression.
Oh, yeah, I was gonna take your phone home with me. I was just walking off with it.
Your phone.
I have to find my phone, so.
Now I'd ask the representatives of the Alpha Delta Kappa chapter to come up front, please.
These party girls. The party girls.
That's past my bedtime. I get to be buying, I don't know, you get over here, you might like me.
Nobody wants to stand next to me. All right. This is a proclamation for the Alpha Delta Kappa chapter. Whereas the Alpha Delta Kappa chapter of the International Organization for Women Educators was founded the summer of 1954 and now has 26 active chapters throughout the state of West Virginia with over 1,100 members. Whereas the Kappa chapter, comprised of women educators, was organized and members were initiated in Clarksburg on October 9th, 1959. Whereas the Alpha Delta Kappa chapter is dedicated to the educational excellence and world understanding and recognition of outstanding women educators across the globe. Now, therefore, I, Robert Neal Skinner III, Mayor of the City of Buckhannon, pursuant to the power and authority vested in me, do hereby proclaim October 29th, 2025 as Alpha Delta Kappa Day throughout our City of Buckhannon. This given on October 2nd, 2025.
Mayor, will you just plunge into the middle there, please?
Plunge in, huh?
Plunge in. Plunge in.
At 6'4", I don't plunge any places, so.
Okay, y'all wanna look at me first? Brandy, you're the good director. Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3. Okay.
Right, over here.
Right here. Okay.
White, right here. Look at white. And finally, perfect, thank you.
All right.
You got Wyatt's number back there.
Who wants the goodies? Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, there's just. That's what I'm sorry. Well, I know.
You did such a good day away. Okay. Up next, under recognized guests, we welcome Andy Teeter to the podium, please.
Quick. He's coming up there, I'll hand out the presentations. Right?
Nope, we'll do that right after.
Good evening, Councilor. So my name's Andy Teeter. I'm the flood warning system supervisor for the West Virginia Emergency Management Division, part of Department of Homeland Security. I'm a retired West Virginia trooper, and I've been doing this about 3 years. System had been neglected until I took over, and now we're up to about 260 full weather stations, rain gauges in the entire state. And we pay the USGS a stupid amount of money every year for them to take care of 167 stream gauges. I won't even get into the number. Beyond that, spring of this year, throughout the year, we've lost 8 West Virginians to flooding in the state of West Virginia. After the flooding in the southern part of the state hit in the spring, I was contacted by several county emergency managers wanting some help with some additional flood warning capabilities in their counties. I, with my meager $130,000 a year budget, couldn't sustain multiple county, multiple stream gauge units. So I got with a few of them and devised a plan. If they would be interested, we would meet, we would decide on the location and the type of equipment they wanted. I would compile a quote of the equipment, and they would agree to the quote, we would enter into an MOU with whatever entity, be it city or county, was interested. They would agree to reimburse the emergency management for the cost of the equipment. Me and my staff would install, maintain, and repair, replace it from that point forward. The benefit to the county or city then becomes you get strategic setup in that system. You can set thresholds that would benefit your area. You'll receive alarms specified to your needs so you can better warn people. Because at this point, without proper warning, we're in a reactive mode instead of a proactive mode. If you can get early advance warning that water is rising and it will become threatening to life or property, you then have advance warning to get people out and to get things in a safer manner. We are the only state flood warning system in the country that is completely maintained and installed by state employees. There are other counties in the country, small entities that have their own network, but we're the only state and we're one of the largest networks in the entire state. Our website is wvrainfall.wv.gov. It is a public-facing website. That is also something that is not completely unique, but it's unique to all the surrounding states that we have a public-facing website where the public and anyone can look at our data and see the rainfall amounts, the temperatures, humidity, stream levels at any point in time, 24 hours a day. Another benefit to the MOU is post-event data acquisition for a FEMA declaration. August of 22, there was a declaration in Jackson, Kanawha, several counties in the southwestern part of the state. The FEMA declaration was initially denied. My agency came to me and said, can you compile Excel spreadsheets to show how much rain fell, how fast it came down, and where the most heavily impacted areas were. Once I compiled all that data and gave that to them, they resubmitted and the FEMA approval was made at that point for a disaster declaration. So the benefits are there. So when we look at a rapid flood detection network, the build-out preparation is I receive a request from someone, we locate the stream of need, I get a site quote, and then we enter to the agreement. Again, we install, maintain, and repair, replace the equipment from that point forward. But it's completely customizable thresholds and reporting times and alarms for the entity that is buying into the project. So there are 3 different types of gauges that we can install. One is Iridium satellite with a cost of $7,200 initial parts, and then $650 to $1,000 a year for the Iridium satellite data. The problem with most satellite data, as with the USGS data, is the latency. Sometimes it's yes, sir.
No.
Oh,
Is that per unit or is that for all the units?
that's per unit, yes, sir. Okay. The problem with satellite data acquisition is the latency from the satellites. Currently, the USGS latency runs between 15 to 30 minutes. The US gauges in the area currently are only reporting about once every 2 hours with a latency of 20 to 30 minutes. So you're 2 hours and 20 minutes beyond when that last reading was taken. The tug fork in the southern part of the state went clear through the warning stage, flood stage, and then the moderate stage in the reporting time of the USGS. So all 3 of my alarm triggers went off at the same time because the river rose that fast. It went through all of the pre-warning alarms that were created.
And how far was the gauge from I'm assuming Williamson?
Yeah, there's one down upstream of Williamson's Tug Fork, and it just rose, that entire stream rose like 38 feet in 10 hours.
So how long did it take for the damaging flood stage to hit Williamson from when it hit the gauge?
Within a couple hours.
Okay.
So the system, I'm going to continue with the pricing. So there's also a cellular unit. If cellular is available in an area where you'd like to have a stream gauge, that unit costs between $3,200 and $4,900 depending on which manufacturer we go with. But a yearly cost of $155 to $255 for data acquisition. The other problem with that is you're relying on someone else's network to acquire your data. And some of the manufacturers of that equipment also require you to API or scrub their data from their system rather than it come directly to ours. The third option is with the infrastructure that's been in place for our system since the 1980s, which is VHF radio frequency, right? I've invested $100,000 in our infrastructure network to upgrade it to an Alert 2 network within the last 2 months. That project will be complete by December. It's already in this area and functioning. There are 3 rain gauges in the lower part of Upshur County that are already on the new Alert 2 network and transmitting data. Those units cost $6,000 a piece, and there is 0 yearly cost to the entity that's involved in it from that point forward. The infrastructure is already in place.
These are already in place here?
The Alert 2 network, the VHF infrastructure, that's how the data goes from the rain gauge or stream gauge to my tower and to the internet, and it's all but instantaneous on the new network. And, so everything's also on a timestamp, so that the gauges cannot talk over top of each other. They each have their own half-second time slot in every minute that they can transmit data. So literally, if the stream rose 1 foot in 1 minute, that data would be immediate once it hit the next minute mark. Our data is immediate, but it's not overlapping. They will not talk over each other, and we can have it transmitting a change in a level every single minute. I could cut it down to 30 seconds if I really needed to, but that's a little overkill. So, in somewhat conclusion, it's an enhanced early warning to more benefit your citizens of your area. You get local customization. I'll get with Jay and Terry. We've spent several hours in the last few weeks working on this project as a co-op between the county and the city, trying to get some more advanced warning for your area. This is not going to require a 3-year National Weather Service study to set the thresholds. These folks and your fire chief and your local fire department chiefs, they all know what level these places start flooding, right? I can immediately go into our system and create those thresholds and the alarms and set up your emergency responders that need those alarms and get them set up immediately. That's the customization part. The other customization is you guys get to pick where it's going to benefit you the most. The entity will reimburse the MD for the equipment costs, and then that's it. You reap all the benefits from that point forward. And VHF transmit data, that's why I say there's no cost on a yearly basis from that. I know my time's short, so I was kind of rushing through that. Does anybody have any questions about?
You think Alton Bridge?
Yes, and if you don't mind, if I put Terry Joe on the spot, could you explain what you and Andy did yesterday? And because we were originally thinking 3 river gauges on the Buckhannon and 3 river gauges on the Middle Fork to cover all of Upshur County. But after Andy and Terry Joe did site visits yesterday, they determined that really only 1 additional or supplemental river gauge is required on each of the rivers. And
that's where we'd like to start. We're not saying that will cover us from this point forward, but if we could get 1 river gauge on the Buckhannon River at the headwaters where the 2 left fork and the right fork converge, and then 1 on the middle fork where the left fork and the right fork converge, then I think that'll get us a good start with the potential to always maybe try to go with additional if we find the need for it once we see how this all works for us. But we did visit other neighboring counties where our headwaters come from, and we just felt like after seeing where those locations were and where the best locations were to benefit us, we thought there at Alton Bridge, because that's really Alexander, but it's just right beyond the bridge whenever the left fork conversions with the
yeah.
Buckhannon. So the next bridge in place would be the Alton Bridge. And we think that that still gives us plenty enough warning time for anything coming down the river before it hits Buckhannon. And then the same with the Middle Fork, you know, trying to set that up as well. And that gives us plenty of time there at the bridge at Ellamore to cover everything within the county as well as our neighboring counties. It's going to benefit them as well.
So it's 2 hours, right?
On 5 hours on a typical day, but then when the high water events,
2 hours
between
coming down
1.5 and 2 hours, depending on how much water we get. And in this case, Mayor, with the customizable alarms, you know, and it would be based upon the Alton station, and it's going to require a couple high water events, not necessarily flooding events, but high water events to see where those warnings need to be set level-wise, you know, as far as river depth. And then after that, we can just start building from there and then be proactive rather than reactive. Because as you and I were talking in January, I mean in the 2 February storms, you know, we were back and forth, where is it, where is it? Now it's here, this is flooded. The triangle's flooding, but it's not flooding on Wood Street yet. Oh, an hour later, Wood Street is flooding. You know, and rather than trying to chase it down, we can set these alarms and it will tell us so that the street department, the fire department, the sheriff's department, they can start setting out signs and letting everybody know what's coming rather quickly.
Mm-hmm.
It's a cause and effect at some point, and they probably know a level at this point. But at Alton, if the water level is this part, the flooding is going to occur down here. It may not be flooding at Alton. It doesn't have to be flooding at the gauge itself. But we can set that threshold where we know the lower areas start flooding at and create those alarms to give you the forewarning instead of, hey, somebody's stuck in the water, somebody's got to go rescue them. At least you can get advance notice to get the signs out there, and then sometimes stupidity happens and you can't prevent it anyway, but you've done your part and you're proactive rather than reactive.
Right. Well, our biggest threat here is coming at us in that body of water right there. So that river starts at 3,000 feet in elevation and hits us at 1,500. So there's quite a lot of velocity coming down the channel that we have no protection from. So at Alton, it gives us 2 hours to get ready. If it's coming from there, it's coming.
Yes.
So
yeah, there's no other place for it to go.
And by that point, the only channel not in that's of any substance is French Creek, but right. It's not that the left and right are together at that point.
I will say that Andy has been in contact with Steve Wyckoff, with Barber County and Randolph County, and they're also jumping on board with this little mini region of early warning so that everybody, both upstream and downstream of us, including ourselves, can take advantage of this opportunity that's there. I will say that when we looked at the 6, we discussed that, you know, there's FEMA grants out there and it's available, but like Andy said, you got to have data to support it, and that's only if they approve it. And given the current climate in DC right now, maybe not such a smart choice to go for all grant funding at this time. Let's buy 1 or 2 to put on each river, see what it does, and then maybe the opportunity next spring or next year or, you know, whenever we can apply for the additional ones. Because, you know, we were surprised that one of the commissioners actually wanted to I don't want to put words in their mouth, but they were already thinking about, well, let's put one at Selbyville so we can truly start at the beginning, but it's not picking up everything, but still, it would give them warning of what's coming down.
Yeah.
So,
but as we've seen though, weather events in that, because of the terrain, can affect one fork and not the other, and it can rain on one side of the mountain and not the other, and Buckhannon's still the problem.
Just so last week, it never got here.
No.
It rained all down there and it never got here.
Yeah.
So
now, has Barber County been approached in this at all? Because the Middle Fork, well, and this one, but the Middle Fork affects them way more than it affects us.
It affects Audra, but then when it combines with the Buckhannon just past Carrollton, then it affects Philby.
I've already presented to the Barber County Commission. They've already agreed to 1 unit now and possibly 2 more next year.
That'll be good. Good to know.
Thank you.
And I will say that the county commission met today and they unofficially approved the purchase of 1 unit for one or the other of the rivers.
Because it wasn't an actionable item on their agenda.
Right. I think we should
I think
consider that as well, Mayor.
I think we should too. I mean, it's on our agenda here this evening. I would like us to purchase one specifically for the Mountain Bridge, because that is what is going to affect the city of Buckhannon. Middle Fork doesn't affect City of Buckhannon at all, but the Buckhannon River, that will tell us everything we need to know about a flood event.
And that was a cost of
$6,000.
$6,000.
What, well,
Is that each? That's a total of 2, is that right?
So there's 6,000 each. The county commission is purchasing one,
Yeah, the
whichever
yeah.
you don't.
as
So,
far,
yeah.
as far as warning, what is the most reliable, VHF or satellite? I'm thinking of the people in Triadelphia.
So the most reliable, in my opinion, is the infrastructure I have built out. All of my collection points, my towers, are on the state interoperable radio network, which have generators, alarms when something's not working. The one thing the state interoperable radio network likes about my equipment being in there is I also monitor the temperature inside the building. So if their equipment's overheating, they look at my equipment and they can know it. But I've also set up alarms and they get those alarms. If my equipment does not report within 30 minutes, I get an alarm and then I travel out to the tower and I fix the problem. So that infrastructure has been fail-safe for every bit of the last 10 years with certainty. But now I'm enhancing it as I'm upgrading each tower by adding this additional alerting equipment inside it.
And Jack, I'm assuming you're referring to Triadelphia and the northern panhandle.
Yes.
Yeah, where I believe, and Terry Jo, correct me if I'm wrong, Christie commented that somebody presented, just how fast that water was on Wheeling in that area, in like 37 to 40 minutes. They were in it. They had no advance warning, no nothing. And so they are looking at, or have already, I don't want to speak for you,
I
but they have
actually have
already.
a meeting with all the emergency managers in that entire region on October 28th, and then they're setting up county commissions for each one of those counties also. Pendleton has ordered 6, Cabell County has ordered 1 with 3 more coming. Morgan wants 2, Berkeley wants 2. I'm probably going to be hiring 2 to 3 more employees in the next year or 2 to try and bolster this. And not that the USGS does anything wrong other than charge $1 million a year. They have the ability for their gauges to transmit faster, but they don't want to do it because it will cost them more money using the satellite, right? So satellite is expensive, the latency is high, and you also have heavy storm cover that can affect that data transmission getting out. I mean, we were looking this morning before the county commission meeting, a data reading that was taken at, was it 8:05?
8:05,
Did not hit the system until 10:20.
10:20, right before the meeting.
Okay, that's 2 hours, and we've already talked about how fast these things can come up in that 2 hours. We just talked about what Tug Fork did in 2 hours. That's catastrophic with not knowing that. This equipment will transmit every single minute if we choose to.
Okay.
It's a no-brainer to me.
Well, if there are no other questions, I'd entertain a motion that we, as the city, support purchasing one of these for the, as I said, the Alton Bridge on the Buckhannon River, and get it installed as quickly as possible.
So moved.
Motion by Randy, second by Pam. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, I call for that question. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Like some opposed, motion carries. Thank you.
Would you like cards?
Oh, sure.
Any further questions?
Absolutely.
The website is also on there. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
Where do you go to lunch?
Thank you.
I have
If you do prefer to call, I'll use my cell phone because I don't work in Charleston.
Okay.
My office is in my house in Elkins.
Oh, okay.
calls in.
All right, thank you all for your time.
Thank you.
Pretty well. Thank you.
Okay. Thanks, Terry Jo.
You're welcome, thank you
Even you
guys
too, Dale.
very much.
Even you
All right. Fresh off the golf course with another mayor pal of mine from down in Charleston, but coming up here from the great city of North Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, better known as Bobby Boucher. Bobby Monroe, you all remember him, when we entered into an agreement with Datamax years ago. He helped us realize some additional revenue from our B&O tax, and so that's been very beneficial to the city of Buckhannon, as many cities in West Virginia. So Bobby's been a good friend of the Municipal League, and he's got a good program here that he wants to discuss with us. And I mentioned this to you all at the last council meeting, that we would receive a formal presentation from Bearing Advisors about a benefits program to our employees, and here they are.
Great.
And his wife Sherry.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, council members, for allowing us to come in and talk to you about this program. This is my wife, Sharon Monroe. For the first time ever, we're able to work together, and I'm very excited about that. I have help now, and I always tell people I don't have to sleep anymore on the road by myself. I've been up in West Virginia now for about 9 years. The program that Mayor Robbie was talking about, the B&O program, that program brought back just a little under $16 million back to the state. I signed up every city and every town and one village, Barbersville, on that program. So very excited about that. But when we heard about this, I was just about 2 years from retirement. And I said, I don't want to make a change. And I said, the only way I'll listen to it, I said, if I can bring my wife, because she understands the health benefits, and she's, like I said, 33 years in doing that. So we met with the president, who is also out of Clarksburg, West Virginia, and after meeting with him, we got back in the car to drive home, and I said, what do you think? She said, we need to do this. She said, this is a program for the first time ever in 33 years. I don't have to just deliver increases for their premiums, for their health insurance. This is a program that the municipalities across the state, and that's our focus in West Virginia, that the municipalities can give back to all their employees through this wellness benefit. It is a preventive wellness program that gives a tax savings with participation in the program. I'm just going to, so I don't mess it up, because I'm only like 3.5 months into this, so Sharon's going to explain it to you in just a second, but I do want to tell you that we're endorsed by the West Virginia Municipal League. Not only are we endorsed by them, but they're also currently on the program, all their employees, and we've also just recently been endorsed by the National League of Cities, the NLC. So right now we have on the program already Princeton, St. Mary's, West Virginia Municipal League, Lewis County Board of Education, Taylor County Board of Education, and processed to come on board by 1/1/26 is what her and her team is going to be doing, is enrolling these cities and Board of Educations: New Martinsville, Nitro, St. Albans, Clarksburg, Barbersville, Hurricane, Moundsville, and Marion County Board of Education will all be on board hopefully by 1/1/26. So we have our hands full, but we're very excited about this program. And it is a program that all of your employees can sign up for. We're seeing anywhere from 85 to 95% participation. The reason being is because the employees can choose different supplements that they need, such as life insurance, short-term, long-term disability, hospitalization, accidental, and it doesn't decrease their bring-home pay. That is huge. And the benefit back to Buckhannon would be every employee that would sign up for the wellness program, that would be a $600 per employee per year savings. So if you had 100 employees, I just like to use this as an example, and being conservative, if 80 signed up, that would be $48,000 back in your budget that you could spend on these alarms for flooding, which I think is amazing. I love to hear this. So without further ado, I'm going to introduce my bride and let her explain this so I don't mess this up. And thank you again for your time. We really do appreciate it.
So it is a tax savings program. So the way you get your money and back in your budget, and the way the employees get their money to spend what we call as an allotment or a bucket of money for additional services, it's the wellness plan. The wellness plan was approved by the federal government back when healthcare reform rolled out back in the mid-2010, 2012. If a company could implement a wellness plan that was proactive to employees, that helped them gauge their health care currently and forecast it in the future and keep them proactive, keep them healthy, and keep them advised, then this plan could be a tax savings credit for the municipality. It could be for any company. We focus on municipalities, obviously. So the way that works is it's through your FICA savings. So any amount of money that you pay towards your employees' FICA tax dollars, that's where those savings comes from. So you save an average of $600 per employee per year. And then the way it works is there's nothing that's free in this world, and so we all know that right off the bat. The wellness program has a cost to it. And the way it's set up through the federal government tax codes is that wellness cost is a line item now on an employee's paycheck. And that is a pre-tax line item. So anytime you pre-tax an employee's pay, it lowers their taxable income, right? So with that being said, you probably have a Section 125 in place today, whether it's for your dental, your vision, a portion of your medical premiums, even 401k has a Section 125. So we would implement a new Section 125 for the wellness plan in particular. Those dollars would go to the employee's paycheck, it would lower their taxable income, and that taxable income difference there is the allotment that that employee has to spend. Now, they have to spend it on qualified benefits. The federal government's not going to let them take that money out and buy a new TV or go on vacation or buy your wife a nice present or anything like that. You have to use it for supplemental benefits that will truly benefit an employee. And with that meaning, pay them something, give them something tangible in the event that something happens to them and they need additional assistance financially down the road. So what we have done is with those tax savings, we've created 3 components of our wellness plan, and we do call it prevent and protect. And it's physical wellness, mental wellness, and financial wellness. Again, the employee has to participate. This is completely voluntary, but when the employee participates in that wellness plan, that's what triggers those tax savings, okay? So it is an AI-driven wellness plan through a company called Attentive. Attentive is the company that we have partnered with. We have vetted them, and it has been utilized across the country very well. With that, again, AI-driven, they can utilize their iPhone, their Android, their computer, and they would go online for the first time after they enroll, and they would enter specific information about themselves. It's very generic information specifically for them and is not shared with anyone. So they would go in, and the Mayo Clinic is what drives all the data through the AI system. So anything that they enter would trigger, like, for instance, if my blood pressure is high, or if I have sugar diabetes, or if I have high cholesterol, I'm going to indicate that in my survey when I fill out my information. That's going to help the system, the AI-driven system, track where I am in my health care right now, where my life is. Do I need to eat better? Do I need to exercise? Do I need to do something different? Probably the answer to that is always yes. So what it does is it kind of tells me, trickles me information that says, hey, you might want to try this. You might want to try this. This might be helpful. So again, little tips and tricks that come down through the line through an email. There's also a couple of other advantages for you as the city. You probably have a 24/7 teledoc on your medical plan today, but you probably have either a deductible or a copay right now, and all of those claims hit your medical plan when they come through. There's a 24/7 teledoc program through this wellness plan that is covered at 100%. So an employee can utilize that once they enroll in this system, as well as their family members, to call and talk to someone regarding a medical condition that they may have. They can be diagnosed over the phone, a prescription called in. None of those claims for that call hit your medical plan. The claim for the prescription would, because they're going to use their medical card to go to the pharmacy and get that prescription. But that call does not hit your medical plan. So that's saving dollars right there for your medical claims. A couple of other things that I think is very neat. The one thing that we tried when we first started and learned about this is a face scan, and it is an app that an employee would download on their phone. And again, we're trying to prevent medical conditions and chronic illnesses. This scan can scan your face and it reads your body temperature. It can tell you what your blood pressure is. It can do all of your monitoring. It can do your stress level. It guesses your age. I do not like that one. But it kind of watches and looks at you and your heart rate and kind of tells you right there and then in that instance what's going on in your body. If your doctor wants you to track your blood pressure, if he wants to track your stats, you can do that and take that right in there and show him, this is what I've been looking at, this is what's going on. It would alarm you if your blood pressure is high and your heart rate's high. you need to go see someone more than likely. Something's going on either right then or has been, that it triggers you, okay, I might need help. So that is a great feature that we always promote. Education with any kind of benefit is the key. Education, and we try to do a really good job of that. I'll go next, and I'm not gonna go through everything, but there's a several lists here, and we go into deep detail with employees so that they know what's available. The mental health piece of it is our second wellness piece, which is very, very important. Today is probably more important and more talked about than it's ever been in my history of ever doing health insurance benefits over the 33 years that I did. This was started by a therapist who was married to an LAPD police officer. She would see him come in after traumatic instances, whether it was him or his coworkers, and she would say, hey, do you need to talk to someone? Is there someone I can call? You know he's not going to talk to her, whether he could or not. It's just not something that we would do, I'm sure. So he never got help. He always said he was okay. Bobby's brother has been the captain of a fire department for many, many years, seen terrible, terrible accidents, has never once called to get help, still has nightmares, still thinks about things that he really probably needs to call someone. But the sad thing in our society is we don't know who to call. And when we call someone, is that really the appropriate person that can help my situation? If I've been in a shooting and I'm a police officer and I call my health insurance company and they say, hey, these are the psychiatrists and the therapists in your network, these are who you can choose from, how am I going to choose that person and how am I going to know that's the right person? So this young lady, when she started this company, again, her primary focus was on first responders. And she has a network of providers that she has vetted across the country. And with these providers, it drills down to specifically what that trauma was. So an employee, and it's open to all employees, not just first responders, but again, it is very important for our first responders. But an employee would go online. This again is an AI driven. They would go in, if something has happened, kind of type in what has happened, and it kind of gives them questions. And as they talk through here, and on the screen or on their phone more than likely, as they talk through their situation, it triggers again tips. Well, do you think you need help? Probably not, maybe so. Anyway, it gets them to the appropriate therapist once they figure out what's going on and they do need help, and they do reach out within 48 hours. It's incredible. So it's definitely been proven through the first responders. Again, most of our clients have been adding that for all employees though, because it's such a good benefit.
Yeah, with the first responders, I mean, anybody, but I know like with my brother, when he carried out the 2-year-old that burned in the house, I said, brother, you fine? He's like, I'm fine. I said, no, you need to go some help. He's like, no, I'm good. But, you know, just like with anything today, if you call for any kind of service, you get transferred around, you get to the wrong person, you got one shot with a lot of these guys because they're not going to fool with it. And it's so important to get them, like Sharon said, get them paired up with the right therapist. Just because, you know, if you had a shooting and you're a police officer, you don't want to see a marriage counselor. You got to see someone that's, you know, trained in that area. And it's so important. And like with Lewis County, they said we want to offer this across the board to all of our teachers. And so they did that. And everybody that we're talking to, I mean, the mayor down at Barboursville, he's like, I want all of my employees that have this.
And we all know someone who's been through something, whether it's a police officer, a fireman, or even in, you know, ourselves, you know, divorce, drug addiction, things like that. We all know someone who has needed some help but didn't really know the channel that they needed to go down. And this is just another avenue for help there. The claims still go through your medical plan. This is just a network to get them to the appropriate area. So I want to be clear on that, okay? And last but not least, I know I'm doing a lot of talking and I apologize. Financial wellness, again, very, very important, because let's say on your physical side, you haven't kept up with yourself very well, and maybe you do have a couple of chronic conditions. And by the way, 4 out of 10 people are walking around right now with chronic conditions that they don't even know about until they hit the emergency room or urgent care center. So again, early detection is very important. But the financial wellness, if you've gone through some of that, and let's say you do end up in the hospital and you need to be out of work, these financial avenues here will definitely help. So life insurance policy, which is whole life, permanent life with a cash accrual. That is guaranteed issue. So if an employee has been denied in the past, they're not going to be denied on this plan. They will have guaranteed issue up to a certain dollar amount. Same thing for their spouse and their children. Short-term and long-term disability is available. If they've ever been denied for one of those, that is available. Or to fill the gap, if they have short-term disability but they can't afford the long-term disability, this gives them that avenue to choose that. They're not paying any additional out of their check. They're using those tax dollar savings. Remember that allotment. Still got that bucket of money to spend. That's where this money is coming from to pay these premiums. And then critical illness and your hospital indemnity, all of those, in the event that something happens to an employee, money is given to that employee. So that again is a financial security, because if you're out and you've had a surgery and you're out on disability, or you're out and you don't have disability, you're not going to get well fast enough if you're worrying about your bills on the other side. So again, pulling all three of those together is just really important for employees. And that's what we feel is important. We're not trying to replace anything that you have currently. We're just trying to bridge that gap on things that they couldn't afford when they were offered it, or they were denied in the beginning due to a condition, and now we're being able to offer it. And it has truly, truly been a blessing when we have sat in front of employees and been able to offer this.
Yeah, we were in Princeton, enrolling in Princeton on this program, and a lady came in, single mom with an 11-year-old daughter. She said, I would love to have some of these services, but I already have a condition. I know I won't qualify. We told her, yes, you will. And she started crying. She had stage 4, I'm sorry, not stage 4, but she had ovarian cancer, and she was trying to protect her 11-year-old daughter. She said, I would love to have some additional life insurance to protect her, but I also know that I'm going to be out of work because I'm going to be going through treatment, radiation, chemo, and I need short-term, long-term disability. So she was able to get all of those, which was amazing. And then a couple other things. St. Mary's, I know they're smaller than you guys, but every employee signed up through this program. And I credit it to her and her staff because she explains it so well. When she sits down and meets with your employees, she goes over and tells them exactly, asks them the right questions so they get exactly what they need. Because the last thing you want to do is give them something they don't even know they have, and then they go home and I don't know what I got, but then it changed my paycheck. But we want them to use this, which is amazing. Mayor Rader at Ripley, believe it or not, I always say that when I say Ripley. She met with us and we told her about the face scan. She started crying. She said, I wish I would have known about something like this, because she had a council member come in and his eyes were cloudy. And one of the other council members looked at him and they said, hey, you need to go get checked out. Your eyes don't look right. He said, oh, I'm fine. He goes to the doctor finally, and he has stage 4 pancreatic cancer. He made it about 3 months after that and passed away. But proactive, it's just like with the flood thing that you guys just invested in. If you can be proactive, you don't have to always be as reactive. And we all know that we can do better. And as far as our health goes, I'm guilty of it, especially being on the road as much as I am. This program hits so many spots for so many different employees, and it's something that you can give back. Mayor Dave at Nitro this afternoon, he told us yesterday, he said, instead of the city getting these funds back.
Now, keep in mind,
Yeah.
this is your money
Yeah,
to
you do with whatever you want to do with.
Yeah, this is your
But
budget.
he told us this, and I was like, you're the first mayor and city that we've met with that said they want to do something like this. He wants to give all their savings back to their employee, like maybe through a health savings account, to increase that from $3,000 to the $3,600. That would help, the employees. So
You can't just give it back. You
Yeah.
can't, you've got to.
Put it in,
Put it just give it back.
Some type of.
Federal government says, I'm going to give you this for this, and then,
Right.
but health savings account does work in that situation.
See, I
So
told you,
anyway,
she explains
yeah.
it so much better than I do.
So-
But I'm excited about it because, like I said, I've been working in West Virginia. I know what, it means to us, West Virginia does, and this program is just,
It's incredible.
yeah, it really is.
It's a
So,
blessing.
and no one that we've met with 46 cities, towns, one village, and some school boards and some counties. No one said, no, we don't want to do this. So we've got we've got so many council meetings planned between here and the end of the year. We're just trying to schedule them, get them all on board, so.
Yeah, we want to see everybody, we want to tell the story to everybody.
And we don't want to get too far into the details, but we can. If you want to know how the dollars work, Sharon can explain that. But if you guys have any questions, please feel free to ask, and we'll answer those.
I think anything that we can do to add value to our employees is a good thing. You know, municipalities, counties, boards of education can't always go toe-to-toe with the private sector when it comes to wages.
Sure.
We have worked really hard here for the past couple of years to try to elevate ourselves and bring pay scales up higher, but still, we can't go toe-to-toe with private employers. But programs like this can help us bridge that gap a little bit better. You know, when it comes to where do you want to work and what benefits do you receive when you go to work someplace.
I'm definitely for a program like this. I'd like to know a little bit more information, for sure.
Absolutely.
But something like this, yeah, if it's beneficial, could be worthwhile. It comes right out of their paycheck, you're saying, before taxes. Any idea of what kind of,
And it
they're
doesn't
looking at, a
change.
couple
their
$100
paycheck.
at a,
So it depends on what they enroll in. So these are group rates.
Okay.
And when you have group rates, they are definitely lower and they're portable, so they can take them with them when they leave. So basically what happens is each employee's allotment will be different because again, remember it's based on their FICA tax savings, correct? So everyone who might have a different salary, they're going to have a different deductions, employees on the, dependents on the plan, things like that. So we would look at a census of your population of employees. And we take that data and we distribute that, all confidential, it all comes through a secure link, and it goes to our carrier partner, Attentive. And Attentive is the one that comes up with the tax savings dollars for your employees. And we break it down per employee, line by line, showing what the tax savings are, what the cost of the employee wellness plan is, and what the savings to the employer, to the municipality is. And it breaks it down completely. After the enrollment is when you find out exactly what those dollars are, because everybody is going to choose probably different plans that they would like to take. Somebody might need more life insurance, somebody may not, so that would all be different. At the end of the enrollment, we would come back to you and we would show you what the enrollment monies and dollars look like and the breakdown, and we would give you a snapshot of where you would be going forward for 12 months. It rolls behind the scenes in your payroll. There are 4 payroll codes. 3 of them stay the same throughout the year for every single employee. The only one that would be different would be for the supplemental life insurance, or supplemental benefits, because everybody will choose something different. But it would stay the same also because it's a 12-month period locked in there. And again, that employee is not going to feel any difference. The only time they will feel difference is if we can't spend all of their allotment. So let's say you have an employee who has a $200 allotment, and we've looked at every single line of coverage that would bridge a gap for them, and we've enrolled them in everything, and they have $10 left. Well, that's a small amount of money, but that amount of money can go back in their paycheck. You can't walk away and be profitable. You can't not enroll and have the allotment stay in your check. You must spend that money down, kind of like the Price is Right. Again, federal government is driving this, so we want to make sure all those tax codes are covered, and we want to make sure to explain that to employees, and we definitely do that.
yeah, I'm just throwing it out there. I'm sure any employee would be, they want to know, you know, what kind of percentage of their check was going to be close to before they enroll.
Absolutely, and what we would have a piece of paper, and it would have their name,
Okay.
and it would have their individual allotment and their savings on there and what they were eligible to utilize, absolutely. And then when they sat down, we do an online enrollment. It walks through each of the plans. I explain all of those plans yet again so that they understand what it is, the amount that they will see in their paycheck, and why it's not going to show any difference in their pay. I explain that to a T, because the last thing I want them to do is run back and say, what's going on? You know, I have $10 more in my paycheck, or, you know, what is this coming out? So we want to be very transparent all the time.
our city attorney, Tom O'Neill, has a question.
I have a
Yes,
question.
sir.
I know this is very common in HSAs and other things, but the money that doesn't get rolled over, who gets to keep it?
So the money that doesn't go.
If your money, and you say you have to be spent down, you have to spend it all by the end of the year, you lose it. And that money's been deducted from the employee, who gets to keep it?
So each pay period, so the employee would get an allotment per pay period, or per month divided out by pay periods. So if it's $200 and we spend down to $190 per pay period, then that $10 stays with the employee. It does not, it's retained there.
So
But that is
I'm
their
talking about
tax
at
savings.
the end of the year, when you have to do a rollover for the next year.
There is no rollover.
Okay, so what happens to the unspent money at the end of the
The
year?
unspent money that stays with the city, that's the only unspent money that there would be. All the other money is
So the city
spent.
manages the reimbursement account.
It's not a reimbursement account.
It's not a reimbursement.
It's not a reimbursement account.
What
It is not. It is, the wellness plan is the driving tax savings piece, so the wellness plan being implemented. So I'll walk you through a paycheck today.
I don't need the War and Peace version.
Okay.
But I know that, those allotments have to come from somewhere. Ultimately, they're gonna come out of the employee's deductions. That's gonna be calculated in part. So the employee is gonna have this money, this pot of money deducted from their account. And if they don't use it all, who gets to keep it?
It's not coming from an account, so it's it's in their paycheck. So the money's put in their paycheck, it comes out of their paycheck, it lowers their taxable income by, let's say, $200, and then it goes, the same amount goes back in, so it's kind of a sandwich effect, okay? And so when you're looking at their check, and they know they've got $200 to spend in that paycheck, the premium dollars, the premiums for the life insurance, the disability, all of that, those dollars right there that's what's paying for the supplemental benefits. And then the additional, if there's a 2 cent left, or $2 left, or $10 left, that stays and the employee retains that, but there's no rollover at the end of the year. It's all spent throughout the year.
I see,
Yes.
so this is not, I see.
Yes, and I can get you some tax documented stuff, all that kind of stuff, but it's,
We had
yes.
two police officers.
Thank you for asking that, though.
We had two police officers that, younger police officers that, sat down with Sharon and her team, and they chose everything that they wanted to.
That they could.
That they
Yeah,
could.
they chose everything.
And one of them had $33 left over. He's like, well, where does this go? It goes back into your check. And he's like, that's a tank of gas, a month to get back and forth. So, it is their money, so there's no leftover money.
So this isn't like a.
It's not like a health
HSA
savings
or-
account or a flexible spending
Or
account
FSA.
or,
That's what I was
yeah.
thinking of an
it's not.
HSA or FSA, where that money is taken out of your paycheck, and then if you don't use it at the end of the year, I've always wondered, because I have an HSA. and if
HSA
I
you
don't-
can roll.
I'm sorry, I've got one that I can only roll over a certain amount.
You have a flex. You
Whatever.
have a flexible spending
Okay.
account, yes, sir.
All the money that over what I can roll over, who gets to keep
It stays
that?
with the employer. No one ever says that, no one ever tells that little sneaky thing there, but all of that
Because
dollars,
it's been deducted.
it's already been deducted, and it is
And if I use it or lose
legal.
it, and I
You use it or
never,
lose
it
it.
is always,
That is-
it burns me every year.
Listen, you are not the first person, listen, 33 years of this.
That's my money, I shouldn't be capped on.
And
what I
the
can roll
employers
over.
never wanted me to tell that, but if you don't use it, and you're asking, boy, I use every penny of it, every single time that I did it, but
Yep.
if you don't use it, you're right, you lose it. And the
Every
employer
November,
retains
she
it.
comes in and says, all right, we got this much, we gotta spend it.
Yeah, so
Right, thank you,
completely
Joe.
separate, but
So
exactly.
these funds that are deducted from the employee for their supplemental, is this separate companies?
This is one, so there would be, the attentive is the wellness plan, let's talk about that. Attentive is the wellness plan, and then Ally Connect, if you choose to do the mental health piece of it, is a separate company. And then whatever ancillary provider we use, like we use Washington National and Transamerica and Allstate. So we vet all of our companies to make sure that they understand.
We already have some of those.
That's fine, that is perfectly fine, that's not a bad
That are
thing. That's not.
tax incentives with them.
Yep. So basically, you would have 3 separate bills. And
We
because,
would have 3 separate bills because we're deducting this from the employees.
yes, yes. So Because through their tax savings, yes ma'am. So you would have 3 separate bills, but we use a TPA that bundles all 3 of those bills together. So you get one consolidated bill that's all, again, consolidated with each line item for each employee. And so you have one bill to pay for that. That bill, so let's say you're a January 1 effective date, that bill is generated January 31st, and it's not due until February, the end of February. So there's a 60-day period there while you're not taking out your FICA taxes for your employees and that dollar amount's still sitting over here. That helps you pay that bill when it comes in. You have no budget line item that you have to add there. It's just sitting there and you pay it out of that budget line. That make sense?
And the payroll codes is set up one
And
time.
look at real time through a payroll, and that's really what needs to happen here.
I got you.
Is that
Is this
I need to
something that we maybe, I'm sorry, Mayor, but is this
Yes,
something we
calm
can
down.
be on a scheduled working session for?
We can't.
Because, I mean, do you think we can make a decision tonight? You know, this is gonna give,
Yeah, it is.
really, we need to hear counsel from our finance director, our HR director, our city attorney. But I think it's worthy of having a working session because I can see this going another half hour or 45 minutes probably. Okay? And we can do it. I mean, if the council wants to do that tonight. But we don't.
Yeah, and once we get the census
Doesn't
back
have to, it just has to
from
be on the
Andy
agenda.
and her folks,
Doesn't have to say.
and you'll see everything that's out there.
Yeah.
And it is a one-time payroll set up, and it's.
And those are all the things that I think we need to,
Absolutely.
I don't know if that's a fair
Absolutely.
suggestion or not, or if you think we can talk to it tonight.
Absolutely.
Well, what if we did this? What if we acted upon the concept of this, that we continue, we agree to, I'll ask the question like this. Can we ask for a motion and a second and a question that we conceptually approve moving forward to then a working session to keep the conversation going?
No, I think we can have a recommendation or motion to schedule a working session.
That's what I just said, to
Not-
keep the conversation
But not
going.
approve.
I didn't, I said keep the
Okay.
conversation going. Conceptual,
It's
to
gotta
keep
be
the
that,
conversation
yeah.
going.
Yeah.
So that's, I mean, or we don't have to. I mean,
No, I'd like to discuss it more, but I mean, we can do it tonight.
clearly, I mean, if all those other entities have.
Did they just automatically approve it after your presentation?
So,
Most did, and then, like Hurricane, they wanted to see the census come back, and then, then they, but like West Virginia Municipal League and the NLC, they did exactly what you're talking about wanting to do. They vetted this whole system and made sure that, yes, and also for Ambi and her folks, we can give you, several references that have already done this, and they'll tell you how flawless and seamless it was. And because, last thing we want to do is create more work,
absolutely.
but,
Yeah.
this program works, and they've got it refined down to the T. But, yeah, absolutely, we can do a work session, no problem. Whatever, we'll follow your lead. Yeah.
Well, I don't know that we need to hold off, we just need to, I want to give them, I want to have them leave tonight understanding that we're going to keep this conversation
Yeah,
moving,
of
is
course,
what, I don't want them leaving tonight being like, well, are they going to do it or not? I mean, kind of thing. I mean, I want to assure them that we are going to keep this conversation moving and learn more information and have a working session. That's my goal here.
Sure.
Well, I think the word is.
No, I have 3 big questions that I would like to have answered, and I'd definitely like to keep the conversation going.
It's called due diligence.
Andy's like, Andy's the one who's gonna.
So when will you all be back in the area after tonight?
We've got a conference, next week, and then
Week of the 13th.
2 weeks after that.
So maybe we can look at a date and time, the week of the 13th, to sit down and discuss it further outside of the construct of a long agenda council meeting?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. That's fair.
Perfect.
Is that agreeable to council members?
Absolutely, I mean, it sounds fantastic, it sounds great, it sounds, but,
Sure.
and I apologize if if I'm cutting you off, but I can see this going for another hour and answering all the questions and all the concerns we may have, and I would still want to sit down with Andy and Tom
Sure. Yeah.
before I said, yes, let's do this.
Well, and the thing is, honestly, and again, doing this for so many years, if it looks too good to be true, and when you think about it, that's what employees always say.
Sure.
They're like, how are you doing this, and how have we not been
Yeah.
able to do this in the past? So we want to make sure that you understand completely
Right.
how this has been vetted and how we are able to do this. So understood most definitely. Yeah.
And we can send you guys some dates
some
and,
dates,
and
yes.
and then we'll get back and then we'll sit down, we'll come in and have a workshop.
Great.
It's no problem at all.
Definitely.
Okay.
Thank you.
I
We
want
appreciate
Andy
your
to see
time.
how easy.
Appreciate your time, thank you.
Right, thank you.
Absolutely.
Thank you, guys.
That will
Really
help
appreciate
you a lot.
Yes.
I know
No,
Andy.
well, and listen,
Thank you
I've
also.
been-
Thank you.
So I know exactly.
Have a great night.
We don't want to create work for you, and it's definitely it won't.
Wyatt, you're up.
Thank you, guys.
thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, guys.
Hey, Wyatt, you're still here?
I am. I'll make this short. I'm running late for another meeting, so we will go through this quick.
Okay.
Wesleyan's recognized by the United States News and World Report as the #2 best value school in West Virginia, the only regional school. Also received the best regional college in the South. We just hosted homecoming. Over 550 alumni were registered on campus, and there were many more walk-ins to events and stuff like that that didn't register and get their name tag. New news, Harrison County has been added to the list of counties that will receive a $1,000 per semester deduction in housing and an incentive to try to get local students to attend Wesleyan and to live on campus. The We Lead Infectious Illness team is hosting their annual suicide prevention walk tomorrow at 6:30. I believe that starts at the River Walk. Cultural Center is hosting 2 events that'll be listed in your minutes. The CCE will be hosting their annual Trick or Treat for Canned Goods, sending the college students out to trick or treat through the city of Buckhannon, but instead of asking for candy, asking for canned goods to donate to the parish house. 2 open houses scheduled, the first on October the 25th. Partnering with the Chamber, the CBB, and the County Commission, with local video and marketing. Upcoming Young Guns issue of West Virginia Executive was shot entirely in Upshur County and on West Virginia Wesleyan's campus. That'll be available soon. Thank you to Chief Kimball and his entire staff for helping out with the residence hall inspections. Those fire drills will begin this week. And the Religious Life Office is sponsoring a comfort closet for students, basic needs, and hygiene items. That is another list that will be in your agenda. If anyone feels free to donate to that. There's also a blessing box with other non-perishable food items on campus for students that are in need. Student Senate has organized and donated a vibe board for the new Stone Tower location on the Wesleyan campus. And they will also be supplying comfort care bags for local hospitals, including St. Joe's, Davis, and Stonewall. We appreciate being submerged in the community of Buckhannon and the support that the Buckhannon community residents give our students. We continue to program with local businesses like Skateland, Woody's Bowling Center, and Upshur Cinemas, as well as local restaurants. And we'd like to thank those businesses for their support. And that is all I have for you all.
All right.
Do you guys have any questions?
I think so.
Did you enjoy homecoming?
I did. It was a good weekend.
Okay, good.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you. All right, I don't believe we have anybody here for public comment, but we need to jump up to the agenda real quick. And I'd ask for you to give an approval of the meeting minutes from 9/18 if there are no additions or corrections.
I'll make that motion.
Motion by Scott, is there a second?
Second.
Second by Rob, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Like sign opposed, motion carries. All right, financial reports, Amby.
I'll be quick, just a bunch of numbers today. In your package, you're going see your balances for the month of September. I'll give you the balances. General fund, money market, and checking, $794,000. CD that will be moved to municipal stabilization as soon as I can, the CD will end, and then we'll just transfer it to municipal stabilization. That's what council wanted to do. $3,045 for historic landmark savings, poll taxes of $45,000, municipal stabilization $971,000, the flood control account is at $78,000, consolidated public works $190,000, and the cemetery CD at $241,000, sales tax $1,923,000, American Rescue Plan. Now that money's all going to be accounted for through the water project. We're just waiting for some bills to be turned in, $48,000. Opioid account, $106,000, and then the Stalker Youth Center sitting out there remains the same at $307,000. The general fund revenues, we had to update this a little bit, so my report said 562, but it's 584,000 for revenues, and then for expenditures, 554,000. Within that, you have some bills that I'll point out to you. $25,000 to the UCDA for the new business startup support that was approved by council. $2,500 to the Upshur County CVB for IT equipment and upgrade at the CVB office. $2,500 to Upshur County Chamber for the leadership sponsorship. $8,600 K Communication, that is the fire department phone system that was upgraded and changed out. 3,300 Rapid Rescue for level 5 safety class Swift water tech classes for the fire department. 35,000 to Jeff Allen for blacktop on College Avenue East Main to Lumber Street. 2,900 Brophy Trucking Stone for Island Avenue and Pocahontas Street projects. 41,000 Trade Works for the Wesleyan Entrance project. 3,000 to Appalachian Equipment Solutions for excavator rental, and 7,500 Ace Materials for concrete for the Pocahontas Street and Island Avenue project. Then in your packet, you also have the financial statement for the year ending 6/30/25. That has to be published in the newspaper, and we have that out to be published in the newspaper. This is in here for generally just for your information, and so that it does make it in the minutes of the council. So general fund unaudited financial statement and the coal tax unaudited financial statement is in your packet as well. That includes the vendors list that will be published in the newspaper. General fund expenditures were at $7,100,000 in your packet.
Thank you.
Will you make these corrections?
Yes.
And give that to Teresa for
Yes.
the insert?
Yeah.
Okay, great, thank you.
No questions?
I don't think so. Do you want to go over with us the financial statement
I did, just now.
as far as like, no, I'm sorry, never mind, you did. I want to ask for a motion to approve it. That's what I wanted. So is there a motion to approve the financial statement year ending 6/30?
So moved.
Second. The Buckloop? Or no,
No, Rigger. Second by Rob. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Like sign opposed, motion carries. Is there approval of payment of our bills?
So moved.
I'll second.
Motion by Randy, second by Scott. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Like sign opposed, motion carries. All right. I had a utility board on the brain this morning
Yeah.
How many times did you say, this is the third meeting that we've done all this today?
Third pledge of allegiance we did in there today, so.
All right, Ethan's here to give us our public works report.
Good evening. Street department, we are working on.
Yeah. Well, hot, isn't it?
That was juice tonight. Working on North Florida Street sidewalk project. We're about a quarter of the way done with that. We've completed some brush hogging around the river walk. There's a lot of compliments on that. See the river now. Removed the bridge that had fallen or was falling. We patched it several times and it just needed replaced, or a culvert put back, so that's what we ended up doing. And we finished up asphalt patching for the year today of all the potholes, getting ready for winter, so next time we'll do patching will be the spring. And the parks, Consolidated Public Works Board, they approved the purchase of some new playground equipment for North Buckhannon Riverfront Park, and some fencing around the pickleball courts at City Park. Waste, we had Make It Shine this past week. The numbers were down a bit from years past, but I think we ended up having about 67 customers come in. Sewer, we're working on a pump station upgrade along Mom Street. It'll completely redo that whole pump station. And we're continuing to work on our Henry Street upgrade. That street's been shut down periodically since we're about a third of the way complete with it. And we also repaired a aerial crossing on Gum Street that we've been having some issues with, so I believe everything is back and good to go there. And continuing to work on our clarifier. Stormwater, we're continuing to move forward with the Taylor Street stormwater project. We've worked with some property owners and are making good headway there. Water Department finished up their Larchmont Lane project. They're moving to Central Avenue next. They had posted that they were going to do some hydrant flushing, but until we get a little bit more rain, we're gonna hold off on that until the river starts getting a bit more water in it. Zoning and code enforcement working on some leaves and debris, keeping it out of the street, and some different types of projects different developers and homeowners are looking to do. Engineering, the Charles Gibson Library, it's having some leaks. Jay contacted Tri-State Roofing. They're gonna get some estimates and a bid package together for it to try and replace it, hopefully by next month, after this month's meeting, I'm sorry. The WVH TAP program, the North Locust Street Sidewalk project, there's a meeting for temporary construction easements to construct before the project, and design work at North Locust Street. And the Route 20 phase is still ongoing. The Colonial Arts Center looking into new HVAC system. Jay's been working on the sizing of that system and going to be putting together a bid packet before the work is done. And I believe that's it. Just a heads up, we did meet with the DOH today too, after I already submitted this report about the lane widening project for Route 20 by the courthouse. They gave us 2 deeds for some property that they need to acquire from the city main section of Chancery Street in order to complete that project. That'll be on hopefully next month's agenda for you all to approve and sign some papers for it, but they're moving forward with it now. So I believe that's all I have.
Okay. We had talked earlier in the week, the street sweeper is in repair. Did it come back yet?
Yeah, we picked it up from Pittsburgh Wednesday. It's a 2012, so we overhauled it. I've been told it's picking up a lot better. You only have to go over the streets once instead of twice like we were doing. So yes, it's been out and about today and will be tomorrow.
Okay. One thing I discussed with Ethan too was some of the sidewalks do collect a lot of leaves, obviously that's coming up, but over the summer it's collected some of the main drives collected a lot of dead grass and so forth. That perhaps if you could target some of those streets and have a second person blowing it out, so we can kind of get some of those streets cleaned up. I think that'd be,
we talked about working on that, some of the main thoroughfares especially.
right.
Paving looks good.
Yep.
Pothole patching looks good.
Yeah.
Now we'll know you're really skilled when you can anticipate where a pothole's going to be
If I
and pre-fill it.
If I figure that out, I'll probably be making a lot of money somewhere else.
Yeah. Somewhere, thanks, Jack.
We're trying.
I'll be
It's not on the agenda to advertise for a new public works director.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
I entertain a motion that we approve the building and wiring permits as presented in your packet.
So moved.
Oh, Bucklew and,
We'll give it to Mr. Rigger, because he never
yeah,
gets the...
let's give it to Rigger. Is that okay, Mr. Bucklew?
Rigger and Bucklew, yeah.
Yeah, Rigger and then Bucklew, yeah, 'cause yeah, he usually is.
Is this to infinity and beyond?
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Like sign opposed, motion carries.
All right, Jack, you wanna go out? We gotta put some equipment on you.
Hello, Chief.
How are you, Mayor? You doing all right, sir?
Oh, yeah.
Glad to see everybody here tonight. Sorry Dave's not here. But being that it's going as long as it has, probably be all right then. So, in your all's packet, we have the incidents through August of 2025. In the month of August, we had 100 incidents. If you look here, 41% of them were fire-related, 59% were EMS or car wrecks. Going into the year-to-date, at the end of August, we were at 756 incidents. 47% were fire-related calls, 53% were EMS or car wrecks. If you ever want to see a complete breakdown, you're more than welcome to come down. I can bore you with all kinds of data. So, really want to get out to the public. As dry as it's been, the fire season began October 1st. You cannot legally burn till after 5 p.m. It has to be out by 7 a.m. the next morning. You have to attend it, and you're liable for any suppression costs if it does escape your property. So, of course, in the city limits, you're required to get a burning permit no matter what. And it's not our law, but you can only burn vegetative material or raw wood, which does not include 2x4s, because anything that is commercially built cannot be burned legally. So, that being said, as you can see, I brought in a couple show and tell things here. I want to thank City Council and city residents for making the investment in our fire department. We replaced 35, I believe it was, air packs, SCBAs, RIT packs, and that many bottles, times 2 in the bottles. So the ones to the right, or my right, if you all remember when Chief Townsend was here, we received those from Rancho Cucamonga in Ontario, California, pretty much free of charge. Those are 1998 models. So here we are, brand new 2025 air packs. I want to thank you all for investing in our safety and also the public safety that we're going to be serving those air packs over several years. So sure do appreciate that. And anybody wants to put it on and run around the block, I'd be happy to let you do that. So,
What's that weigh?
About 36, 37 pounds. Doesn't sound like a lot, but when you add the other 28 pounds of turnout gear and then it gets wet, so basically you're carrying about 85 pounds on your body around the whole entire time. So it gets, that's why we have a fitness program at the firehouse. We're big on fitness.
What's the time frame? If one of those is full, what's the time frame?
During full activity, about 27 minutes. That's me. Now, you take somebody like Maria or somebody, they could probably get a little longer out of it.
And what were we down to on the old ones?
So it's the same amount of time.
Okay.
It's just you can't get parts for those anymore.
I gotcha.
Yeah, those are obsolete. What little bit of parts we had that we had bought years ago and they came with the packs, you could not replace parts. Kind of like the water plant. So as things get old, it gets hard to get parts. So glad to have it in service. We had a in-service process where you had to read and go over the 3 manuals that were provided. We had the gentleman came and did a 2-hour process of teaching us how to use them. And then you had to do certain things, the connections, the RIT pack connections, which is rapid intervention in case you're down. It's called buddy breathing. I can come in and hook my air into yours. If yours is low, you had to do that in full light. You had to do it in no light with gloves on, and just like a real scenario. So you had to complete that before we got these on the trucks. So we didn't want to just throw them on the trucks and say, there they are. So did receive the last bid on the engine 1 redo, just to inform council. I gave it to Amby. It was just over $300,000 for it. The other two were about right around the 370 mark. So just food for thought as we go down the route. The 09 something we have, and I did see where the Senate and the federal government's looking into the cost of fire trucks. So as we all are, how they jumped from 100%, 544,000 one year to 1.2 the next. So don't know how that happens. We had 11 individuals complete their Swiftwater Rescue Technician course. Last week we actually had to go to Valley Falls, which is off the Tiger River, or Tiger Lake. It's the only place we could find water. So, and thanks to the Corps, they adjusted the flow, so the people attending the class had enough water to actually have a good time at it. So we are a Swiftwater Rescue class or team now. We have our boats, and we will be setting up mutual aid with, like Beelington, they have some stuff. Bridgeport has some stuff. So that way, if we have an event like you was talking about earlier, we will have people coming here, or we may be going to help them. So I was going to talk about that. Update me on interviews. We set the interviews today for our one slot that we have open. It's tentatively October 16th, starting at 4:30. 4:30. So it'll be just before the next council meeting. And Saturday at 6 o'clock, I've been talking about this for a long time. The presentation of PTSD 911 will be at West Virginia Wesleyan College. It's being sponsored by Community Care West Virginia and West Virginia Wesleyan College. I'm hoping for a big turnout. I hope to see everybody.
I'm planning to be there.
I think it'll be a good showing, and hopefully the media will be there. We really got to get a light on this. There's been several incidents over the past couple weeks, firemen getting shot and firemen getting hit by cars and their families, having to deal with that kind of stuff. So we got to start taking care of our city employees and making sure we have some programs in place to help them during their time of need. And I've always said it's not always a call. It could be financial. It could be marriage issues. It could be anything. But it could be a call to put that person over the edge. So we are, Cole Bender and I are in that coaching course, and we're in week 4, and Cole had to coach me the other night, and I told him he probably needed a 12-pack of beer after that got done. But we had a good time. It was a good process, learning a lot, and I appreciate council doing that investment too. So, any questions? Anybody want to try the packs on?
After the meeting. Let's get through the
Bob
agenda.
does.
Well, you're good? Okay.
After the meeting.
Well, I'll get my show and tell out of here, and
Patrick's hungry, so.
I know Patrick's hungry.
Y'all remember Patrick, who, used to be a firefighter here, so.
He keeps coming back for some reason.
Maybe our next chief, I don't know. No thanks.
Thank you, Patrick.
Yep. All right, Mr. O'Neill. Oh, did you have to defer? Okay.
New business.
Okay. Well, we're right there. We don't have any old business, so we are ready for new business.
Okay, well then, that really bought me a lot of time.
You made the motion. You did. Well, too bad, buddy. He didn't realize. He made the motion, but he never mind.
Okay.
He wanted to abstain, so.
Okay, all right.
From the building and wire.
Building wire.
Well, I don't think you're gonna get reported to the Ethics Commission for that.
I don't know.
You'll be
impressed.
I'm thinking about it. There are greater injustices in this world lately. Mr. Mayor and members of council, the council has before it ordinance number 476 of the city of Buckhannon, an ordinance amending ordinances number 207, 228, 342, 369, 392, and 451 of the city of Buckhannon. And by the way, I'm really excited to get this codification.
Why we need codification.
This is why we need codification. Of the city of Buckhannon, and 2, specifically establishing new water rates and charges for water distribution services provided by the water board of the city of Buckhannon. I'm going to, in your second reading, I'm going to modify that title a bit, because actually the the rates will change in this ordinance, but the charges will not. Actually, all the kind of ancillary charges, meter fees and late fees and everything, we can go through this if you like, but all those are gonna stay exactly the same under this ordinance. This is the first of 3 readings. Is anybody here? Good. There's a bit of a difference between this rate ordinance and the and prior rate ordinances, and that is this rate ordinance will implement a 3-step increase. One taking effect this coming January 1st, January 1st, 26. Step 2 takes effect January 1st of 27. Step 3 takes effect January 1st of 28. Those cumulative, well, do you have the annual? I think the first year increase is 14%.
In 21-17.
First year is 20%.
21, 17, 14 is the estimate.
Thank you. I just don't have that sheet in front of me. Here it is. If you would like, members of the press have a copy of the ordinance in their packet. I'm happy at this point to defer for any questions about the content and go from there. This is the first of 3 readings. And one other thing to keep in mind about this ordinance, and this is the case with all of our utility ordinances, because of state law, it actually takes effect 45 days after enactment and not 30 with most of our ordinances, and that is a requirement of state code. Is there anything you'd like to add, Andy?
No, the billing, the first billing that will go out will be when the actual date of effectiveness, January 1st, is within that reading date, so you probably won't see that on your bill until February, March.
Okay. Very good. And again, the rates are being modified. All of the other charges for bulk water, payment penalty, tap fees, those are all unchanged from
I think the
current.
mayor will get into this later, but this affects the water.
Only.
Of the bill. Water only. So, yeah.
So I have with me here my utility bill, my home residential utility bill. So my water, now this is a utility bill. This is not a water bill. This is a utility bill. My water for 3,400 gallons, which is that's what it's billed on. I'm at minimum consumption, so I'm a good test case here as to what this would be just on a base rate. My water is $16.28 a month, $16.28 a month of the utility bill. At a total of 62%, if that is the full rate increase, my water portion will increase $10. So it's not, now the entire utility bill here, which includes water, sewage, waste, fuel surcharge, fire fee, police fee, utility tax, is $76.88. The $76.88 is not going to receive the 62% increase. Just the $16.28 will receive the 62% increase. So instead of $76.88, when it's all said and done, it'll be about $86, $87 right in there. So and we're working on some public relations to get this visual here so that people can understand and see that it's just the water portion. We've also had some questions, well, sewage is going to increase as well because it's based on water. It's based on water consumption. It's not that the rate of the sewer is not increasing with this rate increase stair step with water. So unless your wastewater consumption goes up by you utilizing more of it, your sewage bill is not going to, that part of the utility bill is not going to change. only the water by rate is going to go up. So I hope, I don't know. We try, I mean, but it doesn't seem to work.
And Mayor, I think it's important also to mention, and just to reiterate that, this is stated in the ordinance in both the introductory and as well as in the effective body of the ordinance. The purpose of these increases is to finance the construction of a needed, required new water treatment plant.
That is correct.
I think over the years, the unfortunate assumption has become, I got my water bill. People look at this and say, this is my water bill.
Right.
And as the mayor just pointed out, this is your utility bill. And I'm not blaming anyone for that misconception, that's just been the slang term over the years. Did you get your water bill this month? Yeah, I got my water bill.
Yeah, I call
right
it
here.
that too.
Huh?
I call it that too.
Yeah, that's a slang term. So we have to get used to calling this a utility bill that actually has a water charge on here, which the mayor highlighted. So that's, and we've all been working on language, and we just haven't found that sweet spot yet of how to get it out to the public through public relations, that it is that one figure on there, not the entire bill, because I think people are really caught up on that, go ahead.
And I think it's also important to mention that the last increase was in 2021.
Right.
And so that's, 5 years, it's about 5 years, 4 or 5. And, that is longer than kind of what the council and the water board have kind of expressed that their desired kind of update, schedule is. I know that you as a body and the water board has also talked about the need of stepping these rates kind of on a more regular basis so that, we don't have the alternative, which is, to hit people with a massive increase all at once. And
But I think it needs to be also pointed out, and that is true, but even if the rate would have increased last year, we would still be in a position of increasing the rate by a certain percentage now, because a $40 million water plant is not something that we incur every day.
That's absolutely correct.
And there are people out there that say, well, this rate, what we pay should have been accounting for this all along. Public Service Commission does not allow for a municipal water authority to be able to just stockpile money into a bank to finance a project like this. The Public Service Commission allows for a water or any public utility authority to operate its system, plus a very small margin for general maintenance and upkeep of its system. It is not permitted to build in a rate to fulfill a need for an upgrade like this. This is a special, one-time, in a generation expenditure, investment, if you will, into the system. So, we tried, but so.
We'll get there. Yeah, but as far as the ordinance is concerned, I read it and saw the emails going back and forth with the different versions and so forth. So, Mayor, if it's okay, I'll make a motion to approve the ordinance on its first reading, first of 3 readings.
So moved.
We have a motion by Randy, a second by Rob.
Just to also remind the council that before third reading, there will be a public hearing on this ordinance.
And that you did mention that you need to correct 1 or 2.
Well, when I was reading through the title, the only thing is that the title says, the title mentions, where is it? New water rates and charges. I'm just going to delete and charges because this does not establish any new charges. It just maintains current. That's a
cosmetic change.
Cosmetic change.
Okay, we can still move forward with this and then a second reading.
Oh, second reading will be fine, yeah.
Okay.
You can vote, we'll just have a vote to amend the title on second reading, and it'll be no problem.
Okay. All right, we have a motion by Mr. Sanders, a second by Mr. Zuliani. Is there any further discussion on the proposed ordinance 476, implementing changes to our water rates for the new water distribution, or the new water treatment plant, I should say, on first reading?
Aye.
Hearing the need for none, I'll call for that question. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Like sign opposed, motion carries.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
I just like saying aye.
This one's on your
Yes.
bailiwick next. Randy has been working, he's mentioned this a couple of times in our council meetings before. He's been working with the county with Christy Tenney from the county commission, Westland College, the chamber, the CDB, the Development Authority, Create Buckhannon, maybe even Rotary, not sure. Focused Marketing Company proposal and partnership to create us some new videos for promoting the community.
Thank you, Mayor. Yeah, we've had some really good meetings, and we actually have our first face-to-face meeting with the representative from Focus Marketing Group tomorrow, which is why it was important to have it on the agenda tonight. And I hope you all had a chance to read through the handout I gave to you at the last meeting, and this in our packet is just a copy of that. But if you notice, you know, we're going to be working on promoting the city of Buckhannon and the county of Upshur County as a go-to place for not only tourism, but for also bring your businesses here. You know, it needs to be, you know, a campaign that will elevate the county's business opportunity narrative and celebrate the quality of life that attracts, you know, visitors and entrepreneurs that we have, that we want to attract. So there's going to have, let's see, strategy and alignment as part of the program, earned media, op-ed and PR, print and digital collateral will be part of it, and video production. And then we'll have a toolkit as a handoff to us, and we will own all of the footage that is shot while the company is here in Buckhannon. As the mayor said, West Virginia Westland College is a partner, an active partner. The chamber is an active partner. The CVB, the UCDA, Create Buckhannon, we're all coming together under the umbrella of the county and the city to really put together a very, very focused, as the title says, focused marketing approach to promote our area. So that, in concert with the program we have partnered with the City of Elkins and the West Virginia Department of Tourism, I think we're going to really have a major impact on promoting Buckhannon throughout the region, throughout the area, and so forth. So what we're asking tonight is council to approve our portion of up to $5,000. The total program is $15,000. Once we see what everybody that comes through that has pledged what they've pledged, you know, it may not be a total of 5, but it will not be more than 5. So the county commission passed it at 2 meetings ago that they would approve up to $5,000 as their portion. And I'd like, Mayor, if you would introduce a motion to ask for a motion to approve from City Council up to $5,000 to complete this program, and we go to work tomorrow morning on it then.
I'd be happy to. You have seen the proposal. We've talked about this a few times. It's important that we have promotional materials out there for our community. So I'd entertain a motion that we approve up to $5,000 as our share for a community-wide marketing effort through Focused Marketing Company, so that we can get this rolling. A motion by Pam, is there a second?
Second.
Second by Rob. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Like sign opposed, motion carries.
I need to ask a question.
Uh-huh.
When this is going to be finalized by the end of the year, put together?
Well, I'll know more after tomorrow's meeting,
Okay.
because we hadn't been able to sign off on anything until we got this approved
Okay,
tonight.
and once this is done, when does it start showing out there and for how
After
long?
tomorrow, we'll know that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are we paying for a year? Are we paying for 3 months?
Everything we do, we're gonna own that material, so we can use as long as we want to.
Yeah.
We're gonna own all the B-roll, so we can go back and have our own video production company make some additional commercials and so on and so forth. So it'll last as long as we want it to last.
Oh, okay.
But keep in mind, advertising ages very fast. Yes, and that's the problem with a lot of the things we do have promoting our area, that they've already aged out, and people look at that and go, you know, when was that shot? You know, so we have to keep at this.
Yep. Yep. Anything else? All right, we're down to council remarks, comments, and announcements. We'll begin over here with Scott.
I just want to say thanks to JB bringing the equipment and showing the 1998 versus the new. I'm glad the city could contribute. I as well will try and be there on Saturday to take part in that. Robbie, thank you for the proclamations, the DAR and our educators in Alpha Kappa. And I appreciate Bobby and Sarah Monroe coming and preparing. I'd definitely like to hear more of what they have to offer. That's it for me. Thank you,
sir. Pam?
I agree with him about the Monroe's coming, because anything we can help our people, our workforce, as long as we can get Amby on board. I think she.
I'm not an obstacle.
I know you're not. No, but you're the main person who's got to know everything. She has to know everything, how everything works. But yeah, I think it's great for that. Also, I want to thank. No, she's the best. I want to thank everybody that participated in the downtown decorating of the pumpkin people / scarecrow people, and I think it's going to grow. I've had a lot of excitement over that. My decorating committee, I came up with that, and I want to thank Amanda Hayes for doing the legwork on getting it out to social media. Our next meeting will be October the 7th, next week at 5:30, if anybody would like to come. So we'll probably start talking about Christmas, and anybody's welcome to come. So thank you.
Thank you. Jack?
A lot of good things happening in Buckhannon, and I think the water rate increase is necessary, and it's prudence on our part. And as far as the decorations, last night we had a meeting, and I went across the street and got in my car, and I looked up, and one of the scarecrows were right there in the windshield.
Heard you do that, didn't I?
I had a start. I did. It just caught me by surprise. So, but it is nice to see the decorations, and so that's about all I have.
Thank you, sir. Rob?
You brought up a great point, just with the water rate increase, just the way you described that, that was my one question coming into tonight. I think most of the people that are putting stuff on social media and you hear the banter around town assume it's your total bill that's going to go up. And if we could somehow present that, like the line item of water is the only thing that's going to go be increased, not the entire bill that has to get out there.
Yeah, I agree.
And I do like the scarecrows. I was taking my dog for a drive at 6 in the morning, came to a stop sign and looked up, and I was trying not to make eye contact with one, wondering why I wasn't moving.
So not alone.
You did not know. That's it. That's the water rate increase, some kind of a physical.
It's tough. I mean, even if you read the articles that the media's put out, it has the information in there, but people just are overwhelmed, I think, with all the information that they're trying to consume, and again, they think this is the water bill.
Correct.
And that's what they're looking at. 62% of the bottom line.
I mean, not to chime in, sorry, but I feel like you guys are fighting an uphill battle against the algorithm on social media. It's hard.
Yeah.
It's hard.
Yeah. We're going to keep chipping away, one person at a time.
Yeah.
A good headline might help us.
I know, I was thinking the headline like, it's actually your utility bill, not your water bill, not just your water bill.
All right, anything else? Mr. Sanders?
Well, we got a report, remarks, and announcements. Okay, let's start with the report. Report of events, correspondence, and information. The Buckhannon Upshur High School Homecoming Parade is the 8th of this month at 6 p.m. down Main Street. The BCT Puffs performance will take place October 23rd and through October 26th at the Colonial Arts Center. Trunk or Treat, which is always a popular, we get 500-600 kids that come through there, will be at the Public Safety Complex on October 27th from 6:30 to 8:30 p.m. Trick or Treat in the city limits. This is one of the most sought after events for information, and we got it out finally last meeting. October 31st from 6 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. and kickoff at the high school game at 7:30 p.m. So that works out good. You can still get to the game. From what I read on social media too. Pop's Furniture Costume Contest is October 31st, 7:45 p.m. at Jawbone Park. The Veterans Day Parade is on 11/11/25, 11/11, and The ceremony will take place in Jawbone Park that needs to start at 11 minutes after 11 a.m. It's 11:11. That's part of the protocol that we want to respect the veterans by honoring that protocol. The Buckhannon Fire Department Christmas Parade will be December 5th at 6 p.m. So coming up at the Event Center Brushy Fork, unfortunately, we just found out from the promoters that the wrestling events will not be taking place on the date that we have listed. We're looking to possibly schedule the wrestling event, at least one maybe in December. But beyond that, October 14th, Central West Virginia Area Agency on Aging Services training event will take place. Buckhannon Upshur High School class of 1970 reunion is October the 18th. Our November 10th will be the battalion blood drive provided by WVU Medicine and St. Joseph's Hospital and the Rotary Club of Buckhannon Upshur. November 19th will be a sports award banquet for one of our leagues. Holly Jolly Craft Show takes place November 22nd. December 6th will be the Holiday Fur-tastic Elimination Dinner. And that is to raise money, for the animal shelters, and just really to kind of take care of the animals in our area and so forth. And it's going to be a really fun event. December 9th, 2025, a private holiday event. It's a corporate event for their staff and clients. And that will take us through December. We have a lot of things on the calendar for 2026 already, so I won't introduce that stuff to the public until a little bit later. Yes?
Question, the wrestling events are all canceled?
Yes.
With one exception?
No, they're all canceled as of now, these dates, yes. We may have a new schedule or a new announcement with a different date.
I see.
Okay?
I'll handle it. I know how to handle it on the community board.
Okay, and just as far as my remarks, again, the water bill, great work on that, good meeting tonight. And I gotta tell you, the mayor and I have been, I'm gonna broach a little subject here. The mayor and I have been talking a lot with Christy Tinney and other commissioners. We have a lot of cooperative work going on. And I know that there's always this comment from our citizens that why doesn't the county and city get along? And I gotta be honest with you, I'm not sure why that is being said as much as it is. Yes, there's been maybe some disagreements over the years. But we're working together. We're working on a marketing program right now. We acknowledge, we had a meeting with Steve Wyckoff, Director of Emergency Services, Homeland Security. We acknowledge the fact that he does a lot of work for the city. And he's a great asset to the city. And we thank the county commission for providing him to us and that asset to us. So as we go forward, I hope all of us on council, will take a deep breath before jumping into, well, there's a county-city rift going on now and then. We're making progress. We're making some positive steps. I think the mayor will agree with that. And I think that we should just continue to look at ways we can work together and really help make our entire area stronger. So I'm looking forward to the opportunity to working with Commissioner Tinney tomorrow on his marketing campaign. We had a great discussion with Commissioner Nolte after the Stockard Youth and Community Center meeting today on some things that we're working on. So let's just keep a positive attitude moving forward. And when citizens approach you and say that, just say, it's not as bad as you think. It's, we're all public servants. We're all trying to work together. So Mayor, I'll turn it back over to you.
Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Pam, thank you very much for your leadership with the scarecrows. I've seen and heard nothing but positive comments. So you and your committee are to be commended for that, and I'm sure we've got a nice holiday season coming up as well. So congratulations and thank you for introducing that to downtown.
Well, thank you for allowing us to do it.
Very, 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 very well done. And I agree with you. I think it's going to grow. I need 2 minutes of your time in a very, super brief executive session relative to property matters. If you would just indulge me with that at this meeting. I also want to make mention, if you haven't done so or you haven't seen it on social media, you may not realize, but and I should have said this at the top of the meeting before our moment of silent reflection, but Matthew Loudon passed away. Matthew is the father of one of our police officers, Wade Loudon, and then also the brother of Doug Loudon, a longtime police officer here in the city of Buckhannon. He was only 51 years old, and he passed away this week. So if you would please remember the Loudon family in your thoughts and prayers. I believe they're shooting for a ceremony on Sunday the 5th. So it is it's at Heavener and Cutright Funeral Home here in town. So, but just keep that in your thoughts and prayers, and know that Matthew Loudon passed away this week. Other than that, like I said, I need 2 minutes of your time. After this, at 8:54, I entertain a motion that we adjourn. Thank you.